We are really experiencing some crazy things going on in the real estate market right now with foreclosures. It's affecting our homeowners who are having trouble paying their bills, paying their mortgages. It's also affecting our title companies who are having to pause, take some time before they can actually close foreclosures right now. And also lenders are having problems because they can't do loans on foreclosures right now. So we're really having a bit of a mess going on in Texas right now since the Texas Attorney General called for foreclosure freeze. So I'd like to help my guest understand what's going on. Yeah, and part of the problem is that you got people out there who simply don't understand economics, like our Attorney General, and who's generally speaking is a good guy, but doesn't understand economics, and they do these kind of things, instead of saying, hey, all of you who were improperly treated, here's your recourse, here's a methodology of recourse, they're freezing the entire economy in the area of real estate in the only area that's really booming, which is in the foreclosure arena. That's right. It's insane when you look at it. Go ahead. Yeah. Everybody really wants a deal right now, so that's why short sales and foreclosures are selling so well. And right now, we tried to get some lenders and some title companies on as our guests, and everybody's scared to even talk about it at this point. Nobody really understands what is going on. You Google it and you try to figure it out, and it's very, very cryptic right now. We know that there's a freeze on it on October 15th. The freeze was lifted, but we've still got basically it depends on when the foreclosure process started. Mm-hmm. So, when you as the consumer want to buy a foreclosure property, you don't know whether you're going to be able to buy that property or not. There's a lot of things at play right now. So it's very difficult, and there are a lot of industries that are being affected by this, not only the lenders and the title companies, but certainly realtors as well, and it's hurting a lot of consumers. If you are in a short sale situation, I have not seen a direct problem with short sales. It's the foreclosures that are really being hindered by this. Yeah, absolutely. And so are you thinking there's a possibility that people will move quicker into that arena in order just to get it done, or is that going to help that? Because that too is somewhat of a quote victim market, the short sale. They're losing money in that deal, and of course they're maintaining a certain amount of their credit and credibility in the process, but still, will it foster that, or do you think it'll have no bearing actually? Well, if you are having problems paying your mortgage, the best thing to do is the short sale. And we are still able to close short sales. The problem is trying to get people to buy short sales. People would rather purchase foreclosures than short sales because the process for a short sale is so lengthy. So it could possibly help people that are in short sale situations to sell right now since foreclosures are on freeze. But at the same time, those people who were foreclosed on, at this point, everything's up in the air for them. They don't know whether at this point they have to move out. If they did move out, can they move back in? I mean, everything is really up in the air for them. Do you know how many states have put a freeze on it? Well, right now, Texas is under the freeze, and there have been a lot of other states talking about it. I'm not sure that any others have actually implemented it yet, but they're talking about a nationwide freeze. And, there's always politics plays a role in that. We're coming up here in election season. So, now they're talking about a national freeze on foreclosures, and it's really going to hurt the real estate market. Mm-hmm. Here's a question that is not germane necessarily straight to the foreclosure issue, but Cricket in the San Antonio area, in fact, she was asking about, what the environment out there for financing a home in general is. And I think what the reality is, and you're the expert, that's why we bring you in here, but I think the reality is that it's not much different than what it was historically up to a few years ago. Am I right or am I wrong? Well, the process is the same. The problem is the underwriters keep changing their criteria. So the lenders are really have their hands tied. I've had lenders who completely get things approved, and then we get to the day before closing, and the underwriter won't approve the loan. Oh, my goodness. And so here we've had a great pre-approval letter. I've called them. I've confirmed it. Everything's good. My seller's ready to move out, and now we can't get it funded. We can't go through with the loan. And so even the lenders are at a loss. They don't know what the underwriters are expecting because the underwriting criteria keeps changing. The companies are having to keep changing their criteria because of what's going on nationwide in the economy. They're trying to make sure that they can resell the loans to their investors. So, things just keep changing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's incredible what we see going on. It's a very, very dynamic market. Good question, Cricket. Let me ask you, so in the whole foreclosure process, I heard Bank of America say that they were going to go through with their foreclosures. They had freezed them temporarily, but then they're saying now we got to go through with them. And, of course, that's going to be predicated on what the state allows them to do.
Right.
Do you think others of those companies are going to say, hey, we can't stop this. We got to keep this ball rolling?
Well, I'll tell you, I was down at H-Town yesterday with the Houston Association of Realtors, and I was talking to some realtors who do foreclosures every day. I mean, that's the focus of their business, where we do foreclosures, short sales, and resell properties and new sales, but they focus only on foreclosures. So I was talking to them about it. And they said, last week they were closing foreclosures with no problem. So it depends on when the property was foreclosed on. And we don't actually have a timeline of which dates they're shutting down loans on. So nobody really knows. It's kind of a question mark. Is this house going to go, even though we have a contract on it, is it going to sit at the title company for 2 or 3 months? Or can we go ahead and close on it? You really don't know. You have to talk to that lender about that property.
It seems to me that the later they were, the more vulnerable they are of being frozen, because the idea was that it was clogged up. I mean, the system became clogged up, and next thing you know, they're doing auto signatures, and no one was actually reviewing it, and they were taking kind of a blanket approach. Here's the reality. The reality is that our legal system, when it comes to these type of cases, can't even handle 1 million cases, and there's 5 million cases pending right now. Yeah. That just creates a horrific environment. Shannon?
Absolutely. There's just really not a lot of news that's been released since October 15th when the freeze was lifted. And there were 8 basic criteria that were in the letters that were sent out to these 30 banks and mortgage companies. And we don't know whether those criteria have been met or not. There's just no information coming out. We don't know. And so it makes it very hard for me as a realtor to help my consumers know, should I try to buy this? Should I wait? If they're reaching the foreclosure process, should they move out? Should they stay? There's just a lot of unknowns. And so I really encourage the consumers out there that are wanting to purchase foreclosures, make sure, that you are using a realtor who stays on top of this. And that's what our real estate company does. I mean, we are on top of the news trying to get all the information we can so that we can consult our clients. And then my short sale clients, I encourage them to stay in the property. And of course, that's what the lender wants, because the properties start declining as soon as they move out. And sometimes if they move out before they get a contract on it, they can't even qualify for the short sale.
Absolutely. Okay, another question here. Aren't they just delaying the inevitable? And isn't the freeze, generally speaking, going to make it worse for everyone, including these people that are stuck in limbo? I mean, frankly, a lot of these homes would have fairly quickly become rentable homes for people. In a way, it's causing these homes to become unoccupiable, which is going to actually artificially increase the cost of rental property, I would think. Or possibly have that effect.
Possibly. And, the longer a house stays on the market, it's declining in value.
Yeah.
1, because of the days on market, and 2, because when no one's occupying the property, they just tend to decline. I mean, things start leaking, that causes other issues. No one's taking care of the property. And then the neighborhood, the houses around it, their values start declining. So it's not good for anybody. I mean,
there goes the neighborhood. I mean, and we all say that whenever we just see one sign go up, and then when they end up leaving, you hope and pray that they'll have the lawnmower people come by every couple of weeks just to kind of hold it up, And next thing you know, sometimes you'll see neighbors at least cutting the front yard just to help keep up appearances.
That's right. Yeah.
And it becomes a very, very difficult situation. Yeah. Cynthia from Ohio quoting me at the same time. That's kind of spooky. So how do people get in touch with you, get more information?
I'm Shannon Register with Register Real Estate Advisors. Our website is rrea.com. Our phone number to the office is 281-288-3500. And if you go online, we have tons of information. I did a 10-minute video about the foreclosures crisis going on, so that really can help consumers to know, what's going on, because we can't address all the issues here on the air. I'll tell you, one of the things that's really scary is that Old Republic National came out and said that there are some lenders that they're thinking about not even insuring doing title policies.
Wow.
That is scary.
That is incredible. Yeah. I mean, that is very, very, that's a huge vulnerability there. And that's exactly what this kind of thing would logically lead to. Yeah. Another question, how do you keep up? How do you stay on top of this kind of information?
You know, there are several sources that I use. University or A&M University, you know, has a real estate research center, and they really stay on top of Texas housing. So I get a lot of my information from them. We have the National Association of Realtors, the Texas Association of Realtors, and the Houston Association of Realtors.
And they all have great websites. But let me tell you, as far as realtors, personal realtors websites, you can't beat Shannon Registers. I mean, she's very cutting edge, which is why we asked her to be one of our contributors here on The Price of Business, which you're listening to right now on Talk 650, powered by CBS Radio.